Hi everyone, my name is Stephanie and this is Stephanie Builds Wealth. Welcome back if you've been here before, welcome if you're new. And I am using this channel, I guess, document a little bit of a social experiment. I am first generation American and I am using my training in psychology and just my experience as being a person going through life that doesn't have a lot of financial education accessible to normal people. So I am using all the things that I've learned from the past with my psychology training into breaking generational curses. I would like to say more generational limitations, because the power of words is pretty significant and I don't want to attract the idea that I'm cursed or that my family's cursed. So here I am documenting my experience of getting out of significant debt from being unemployed. Well, I shouldn't say unemployed straight, but having consistent unemployment to the point where it significantly impacted my finances quite a bit. So I'm documenting that, and if that sounds like something you're interested in or just want to follow along and see how things go, and maybe something resonates with you, maybe you find some inspiration, fantastic. Like and subscribe, it helps the algorithm. And in the world of internets and social media, algorithm is its own currency. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started. This is the mantra for the month of March, and this is part of the NLP. NLP is called neuro-linguistic programming, which is a technique used to override negative or non-productive thought patterns and reprogram them with positive ones. So before, I would say this is something that I created because I did not think that I was wired for success. And after a good deal of inner work, I can say that I'm wired for success and I have no internal pushback. There's no internal dialogue of little snide comments that I'm not. I can read this and I can say this, and in my body I feel it, and because it's true in my body, my mind accepts that I am wired for success. And it does its thing to create that externally in the world to help me be wired for success. So NLP for March, I am wired for success. In my previous video, I had mentioned that my time was cut down significantly since I was studying to get my first of 4 certifications in contract administration. That is on the path to help solidify getting my 6-figure position and increasing my finances. So I was starting to combine multiple videos into one, kind of like a 30-40 minute recap of what's been going on with the finances for the month. I'm trying to do at least 2 check-ins a month to keep everyone updated and to give ideas out to people. This is paycheck number 1 for March. So this would be the first update for March. Now we're gonna go in here. We're gonna review my monthly expenses. In a previous video, I had mentioned that my monthly reoccurring expenses for utilities, bills, subscriptions, it was $600, and I had got it down to about $4. And with changing different things, changing car insurance, changing my notary insurance, well, getting rid of it essentially, getting rid of the notary insurance, getting rid of things that I don't use anymore, but I kept because just in case maybe it'll be useful in the future. One of those things was my notary insurance. I don't do notary anymore unless it's for work-related things with contract administration. And at that point, there's really no liability for me. I only need to keep the state minimum. That's it. I got rid of the notary insurance, the notary website, the notary email. So I no longer have to pay for any of those things. And I was keeping them for probably a year too long, but I thought, hey, maybe if it can pay me something consistently, I'll keep it. But I've decided that I really need to focus on this career of contract administration and using my training in psychology with finances to help myself and other people. So that's what we're doing, and getting rid of some subscriptions I just really didn't need. I was able to bring down the previous expenses of $400 down to about $262. We'll say $263, we'll round up. So I'm pretty happy with that. And I wanted to share that when I was driving the other day, I felt like this was some sort of kind of like a cleansing ritual, really, because I know that I am deserving of success and I'm doing the work of my wealth era and get that high income, that six-figure income. And I feel that this type of process where every month I find a way to really clean up and tighten my finances, I feel that because I'm trimming the fat now, that when I get that position and that high income, I'm not going to be automatically wasting it on things that I was just not mindful of, or not being honest with myself about, do I really need this in this season of my life? Is that season of my life over and gone? The notary, for example. So I feel like this is sort of preparing me to welcome that wealth era and not automatically start wasting money that I've been working so hard to step into. I'm happy about that. I feel like I need to update these here, so let's go ahead and do that. We are on Sunday. Wow. Can you believe the month is basically over? Payday will be coming up on Wednesday for me, since I use an online banking company that pays me 2 days early. So that should be Wednesday. I will work on getting a video out probably by Saturday or Sunday, since I'm doing this one so late. It's just wild how much time can get away from you when you're really trying to stack yourself into different things. 313. Mortgage has drafted. State has drafted. What I started doing with my payments to the state is, instead of just doing one lump sum payment, I am splitting the $364 between paychecks so that I can pay it in full in the month that it's due. And this has been able to help my money go a little bit further. So far I'm liking this. So far that this is maintainable. Good. Consolidation loan. This was drafted. Colonial overpay. They have not cashed this check yet. They really are just willy-nilly whenever they just decide to cash this check. I feel like they put it in their drawer, and then a month later, 2 months later, there's a check here, and then they cash it. It's really bizarre. Bank, my credit union bank credit card that I don't use anymore. If you remember, I was topping this off at $100 a month just to pay it down quicker. However, I have since had another epiphany because I'm wired for success. I'm finding ways to accurately use my money, we'll say. So this month I did not top it off at 100. I left it at the minimum payment, and I'll explain that to you once we get to the sinking funds and the debt portion of this. Let's see, school loan has not drafted yet. That should draft tomorrow, since today is a weekend. This was already drafted. Now this right here, this is now my focus for my debt payments, and I'll explain to you soon. Car note has not drafted yet. Colonial Life has not drafted. Gas has drafted. Everything else has drafted already. So we're gonna go to the sinking funds. Sinking funds for March 2024. Now, down here on the note, when I was in my feelings and talking about, how I am happy about these things, initially, first paycheck of March, back on the 13th, I had been issued the last of my wellness reimbursement from my job. They offer a stipend, $600 starting every January, and you have the entire year to use it out. I have completed that credit usage, so I got the last of that $600 credit in my previous check on the 13th. It was just a couple extra $100, which I know is a lot of money. However, compared to the debt pool that I'm in, it's not that much. So I thought to myself, okay, this is gonna be the last free extra money that I get out of nowhere that's unexpected, right? Taxes are done. The wellness reimbursement's done. My bonus checking rewards, they're all done from last year. I need to be very strategic how I use that extra money. And so I sat with it for a day or two and realized that if I shuffle around the money that's currently in my sinking fund and then add the money that I got from wellness reimbursement in my check, I could actually fund 6 of the 10 sinking funds that I need to get funded. So I did. And I wrote that here, that I funded 6 out of 10 accounts. And I also stated I am now able to route that money back to available monies. Total, now that I'm saving, since the sinking funds that needed to be done within the next couple months are funded, I am putting back $144.52 every month into available monies, which is amazing. Initially, I had 6 out of 10 accounts funded, but after taking a moment this weekend to sit down and look at my debt chart to see what I could do, and I was updating those numbers as I was going, I realized that because of what happened in January, February, that I did not get that great of a tax return like I thought I was going to get, since I couldn't claim my mortgage interest. That went $5,000. And because my raise from my job was 2%, which equated to not more than $1,300, which is about maybe $50 a paycheck, I realized that the goal that I had for paying off one of the debts that was going to run out of time by summer was going to be an issue. Looking at all of my debts, knowing that I had to have them funded for this summer, those are the most immediate concerns. My car registration needed to be funded by June. Home warranty, that needed to be funded as soon as possible because I currently live in my house. And if I needed to call my home warranty technician to come down here, it's $150 for the call. Let's say my sink broke again, I would not be able to fund that. And you kind of need your sink, right? You need things to work in your house. Pet insurance, I have 2 cats that are indoor, outdoor, that get into all kinds of trouble. I knew that it was just a matter of time before I needed to take them to the vet, so this deductible had to be funded. My Republic services of $52, that's done every single quarter, and I need to have my sewer system running. Can't just not have that. So that needed to be funded. And my water reclamation bill is $142. That needed to be funded by the end of July. And again, having 2 very big expenses, my car registration and the water reclamation, back to back, with the limited income that I have, that was a concern, so I funded that. Now, I say that I initially had 6 funded. However, after taking time this weekend to realize my current financial situation and that I had some debts coming up that were expiring on the 0% interest term, I decided the one I didn't need immediately in the next 2 to 3 months was my Amazon Prime. So I have taken everything out of that account and I put it into my checking account and I routed that money to pay one of my debts. Which debt? Let's go ahead and see. Right here. Okay. Where did that sinking fund for Amazon Prime that was due to renew at the end of December, so I still have quite a few months to go ahead and get that taken care of, I took that money and I applied it to my Bank West 0% balance interest card that is set to expire on August 1st. Okay, so for visualization's sake, I'm going to pull out my calendar right here. I was looking at my calendar and I was trying to figure out, okay, I have this card where the introductory rate is expiring in August. I did not get the raise I was hoping to get. I did not get the tax return I was hoping to get. This is now becoming a problem. Initially, I had said I was focusing on high interest debts. I have changed that because I realized like this is going to be a serious problem soon. If I don't pay this card off by August 1st, the $3,000 I put on it to cover that negotiated medical expense from 2022 was going to have retroactive interest applied to it at the typical ridiculous rate of credit card. That cannot happen because I currently am in the negative every month. That just cannot happen. I'll never be able to pay it off. But what I decided to do was take my Amazon Prime sinking fund, apply it to the balance of my Bank West. I have also decided that I am experimenting with Chase Bank. Chase Bank deposits 2 days early, just like SoFi does. Went ahead and signed up with them. They were offering a $300 checking bonus to open a checking account with them. As soon as I get that $300, I will apply that to the balance as well. My plan, when I found that out, is I will be routing all of the money that I would have gotten, the $144 a month and 52 cents, to pay the Bank West off at the latest by August 1st. I played around with the numbers and my paychecks. So by taking the $144.52 as my baseline, not giving any extra money to other bills like my my credit union bank credit card right here, keeping it at the minimum payment and not topping it off at $100 a month, and not having to worry about funding other sinking funds, I should be able to pay off the Bank West card just in the nick of time by the end of July. Like, it's cutting it real close. I have made the decision to sell my camera and my lenses and all my gear for an additional $1,000. It hasn't sold yet, but I have until the end of July to sell it. If I'm able to sell the camera, that's an additional $1,000 gone right off the top, which leaves me with a $600 balance that I can knock out within 2 to 3 paychecks. Now, the trick is that because I'm routing every single penny I have that was going to sinking funds, that was going to additional payments for principal payments, I have to somehow find a way to make sure that I can allocate $185 every single paycheck, starting this last one in March, the 2 in April, the 2 in May, the 2 in June, the 3 in July, so that I can pay off that card just in the nick of time. Now, because I'm negative every single month and my income is too low for where I'm at this season, now because I am allocating that extra money that would have gone towards sinking funds, that means that I'm not able to pay some current bills. So I'm in this very fine line playing chicken dance, right? I need to have my utilities, I need to have gas, I need to have food. So those expenses that I cannot pay out of my checking account from my paychecks will have to be put on a credit card. And those expenses are going to rack up every single month until I'm able to get a part-time job or accept a new position or sell things on Facebook and Etsy as much as I can. That is the downside of this, is that I will be able to pay this off by August. It'll be close, but I can do it. However, for the next 1, 2, 3, 4 months, I'm gonna have to put those expenses, those necessary expenses I need, on a credit card that is paid off. And I'm gonna have to piggy bank and leverage by the time it gets to August. I'm really hoping that by this time happens, I will have a new position because I just don't know how I'm going to manage paying off a card when I have so little free money. And I have been applying for part-time work. I have not gotten any responses back. So I'm just basically doing the best that I can. You know, and it's an interesting thing because as I'm going through this experience where outwardly it looks like I'm doing well or I'm doing okay or I'm getting by because I'm driving my car, I'm getting groceries at the store, I'm going to the park and I see other people And, I'm going throughout my day, and I wonder, when I'm looking around and I'm people watching, I wonder how many other people are sharing this exact same experience with myself, where it looks like we're doing all right, but we're not doing okay. We're trying to figure out how to get by for another week, another month, until our financial situation changes, because we're actively doing something to change it. We're not just sitting down and playing victim. How many other people are sharing this experience with me, where we're having to put gas on a credit card because we have no free money? We're putting our utilities on there, we're putting our groceries on there, and we're doing the best we can to, basically spin the plates. I can't afford to be in my life right now. And I'm doing the work to change that, but there's always a waiting period of when that actually happens, right? It's just something that nobody can control. So how many other people are out there? It's got to be millions of people out there who have kids, who have medical issues, who just lost a job, who have been unemployed for months like I was, and they're just doing the best they can with whatever tools and resources and knowledge they have at the time. And I look at these people and my heart goes out to them, because I get it. I'm one person. I don't have any kids yet. I have 2 cats that get into trouble. And just the thought of having to take them to the vet makes me so nervous, because I don't have funds to take care of them. So if they really got hurt and I had to take them, sure, I have the deductible, but I still have to pay the entire bill in full when the service is complete. And I don't have that money. I don't have it. And sure, I get reimbursed up to 90% back, but that takes time. And until those claims get submitted and approved, and there's no guarantee every single claim will always be reimbursed 90%, I have to put the money somewhere. The charge has to go somewhere. So it goes to the last option that I have, which is putting it on a high interest credit card. And I know that I'm not the only person going through this. I know there's other people. And when I'm going out through my day, I wonder how many other people are sharing my exact same experience in the exact same moment, who are sitting down to do their numbers and realizing that they have to essentially play a game of chicken with themselves and their finances, because they have things that they have to pay off by this day. And it doesn't even need to be a zero balance, like a zero interest balance transfer a credit card for 18 or 12 months. It could be a medical bill that they have to pay. It could be taxes to the IRS. It could be tuition for college, so they don't get kicked out, so they don't miss that semester and then not be able to finish their education. You know what I mean? It's so interesting to look at people and to judge them when you see that they're struggling financially and they're spending and they're putting things in a credit card. But when those things are survival based, the idea that there needs to be shame or any type of poor thoughts to them just doesn't need to happen, because we're just doing the best we can. I had no idea 10 years ago that I would be 40 and sitting down with my budget and playing chicken with my finances, because just life circumstance kept happening and I kept fighting and I didn't throw in the towel. And I said, I'm going to get through this, and I'm going to get through the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And eventually there's going to be a break, and I'm going to finally make it, and I won't have to worry about this anymore. But until you get there, there's this delicate balance of treading water and getting a little bit ahead and getting a little bit behind and getting a little bit ahead, then more behind, and eventually you get to the shore. So I thought I would share that with everyone, how my experience going through this has been, how it seems like I'm constantly having to pivot with my debt structure and my financial structure, since they are in disharmony, so much so. So I am still working on getting a higher paying position. I'm working on taking my certification test to really solidify that and make that happen. I am actively looking for more positions and applying to them. But if you have been in this situation before, I know a lot of people are experiencing the tightness of the market where you apply for things and nothing happens. And a big reason for that is that there are companies now that are being outed that are posting ghost positions. And the logic as to why they're posting ghost positions is because it makes them look like they're doing well as a business by expanding. So they need more employees to help with that expansion, that growth of the company. Even though the jobs are not real, they are posting them as real jobs. Some people are never getting called back for interviews. Some people actually do get called back for interviews, but nothing happens after that point because there's no job to actually fill. So we're in a really weird part of our employment experience together in this country where ghost job postings are an actual thing. AI is taking over a lot of the work by just literally scanning documents to see if they meet the criteria for the position. There's really no human touch anymore until and if you get called by a recruiter, and then you finally get to have some FaceTime with them and like get to know each other and have that personality experience. So I am working, I'm doing the best that I can. Unfortunately, the route that I have to take, because there is no other option for me, I'm trying to get a second job. I'm doing my best to sell on Marketplace and Etsy. I'm doing my best to increase my income, but there's a lot of waiting that has to happen for that to become real. So I feel you. If you're in this position and you're having to play chess, you're having to play 3D chess with your income and your debt, I feel you. I am happy that I am on track to pay this off by August 1st. If I happen to sell the camera before then, that's going to increase things significantly, which will be great. And then I can focus on another debt. We're doing our best, and a lot of it is having a positive mentality that even though things are difficult and you're doing the best you can, I have a strategy. I am actively doing the work to change my situation. But I thought I would share with you that I have changed my game plan. I am prepared, thankfully, to be able to get my car registered when it comes time, take my cat to the vet, which I have a feeling I'm gonna have to take her today because one of them's been sick quite a bit lately, and that's not normal, so that's probably going to be depleted. Luckily though, for animals, I get reimbursements on their care. I'll take that one. All right, that's all I have to share. It looks like the next payday is going to be this Wednesday, so I will do my best to update you on what's going on with that. Thank you so much for spending some of your day with me. I hope you've had a really good weekend. If your weekend is long, make smart choices, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you.